we view matrices as mathematical objects, and so because they're created out of numbers, we're going to do some operations with them. So we'll start with the most basic operations which we can do, which are adding, subtracting, and then scaling matrices. And to scale a matrix simply means to multiply it by a number. So because a matrix is not just a single number, okay, it's an array of numbers, first we need to make sure that we are actually allowed to add or subtract matrices. And the condition that we need to follow is that they have to have the same dimension. Okay, we're only allowed to add or subtract matrices that have the same dimension, same number of rows and the same number of columns. And then to actually do the addition or subtraction, then we just do it entry by entry. The other thing we can do is multiply a matrix by a constant. And in this case, doesn't matter what the size of the matrix is, we can always multiply it by a number. And all we do is take each entry of the matrix and multiply it by that number. So let's do some examples here. We're going to simplify each of these expressions. So here we've got 3 times this matrix. So to multiply a matrix by a number, we simply multiply each entry of the matrix by that number. So we have 3 times 2, which is 6. 3 times -5, which is -15. 3 times 8, which is 24. 3 times 0. 3 times 1. And 3 times -1. Okay, and that's our simplified expression, multiplying that 3 into the matrix. For this, I don't know why these are lettered incorrectly. That's, of course, B, and that's C, and that's D. So now adding these two matrices, when you want to add matrices, you need to make sure they have the same dimension. Okay? Here we've got 2 rows and 3 columns. This is a 2 by 3. And here we have 2 rows and 3 columns, so that's also 2 by 3. So because those are the same, we know that we can add these. Okay? And then to actually add them, we just do entry by entry. So this first entry, take 1 plus -4, and that's -3. And then moving over, first row, second entry, second column is 5 plus 6, which is 11. And then moving over, our next one is -2 plus 6, which is 4. Okay. And then down in our second row, 0 plus 1 is 1. And 0 plus -1 is, -4 plus -1 is -5. And then 3 plus 0, which is 3. Same idea here when we're subtracting. Okay, first of all, these are both 2 by 1 matrices. Okay, so we're going to end up with a 2 by 1 matrix. And we do, again, entry by entry. So 3 minus 6 is -3. And 5 minus -2 is 5 plus 2, which is 7. Okay. And here for part D, this is our first one here this is a 2 by 2 matrix. The next one is a 2 by 1 matrix. And because they're not the same dimension, we cannot add these. So this is undefined.